Good morning and welcome to the Law Show. I'm Bob Kerrigan. I'll be with you this morning from Kerrigan, Estes, Rankin, McLeod, and Thompson. We are a regional law firm that specializes in serious incidents involving accidents or deaths. Our telephone number is also our texting number. It's 444-4444. You can text us at 850-444444. Now, right now, we'll respond to that text. Or an email. You can email me, bob@kerrigan.com, KERRIGAN.com. That's our website. You can email me, bob@kerrigan.com right now, and we will respond to your questions. If the question involves an issue that we think is important to the community or a general type question, we will feature that on the show. And if you like us, we'll mention that it came from you by name or not, doesn't matter. But we want to use this program to allow people to communicate with us and tell us what you're interested in. And we hope we can provide information to you that will be beneficial to you. There's a proliferation now of lawyers advertising. It's just like the insurance companies. If you think about it, insurance companies dominate advertising. Why is that? Why is it that you cannot watch anything on television without seeing commercials from Geico, Progressive, Allstate, Travelers, Farmers, just an endless number of insurance companies, and they're all saying the same thing. We'll save you money. None of them advertise, we'll pay claims quickly to protect you. They don't say that because they don't really want to pay claims. Insurance companies, if they did what they wanted to do, they keep all the money. They would never pay any claims, but they're in competition. So the whole reason you buy insurance is to pay claims in case you make a mistake or you hurt somebody. But they don't advertise that. They don't want you to compete. They don't want to compete, and they don't want you to compare based upon how they handle claims and how quickly they administer their issues in terms of dealing with insurance and handling your particular case or your concerns. They want to compare based on price. Okay? And they know that if you call, they've got a pretty good chance that you're not going to go anyplace else because they've already told you how much money they're going to save you if you call them. But at least you can compare price. You cannot compare price with lawyers. So you have all these lawyers advertising, and you have to try to figure out, all right, well, who's competent, who's capable, and who's best for my case? That's very difficult to do. We encourage people to call several law firms, talk to the lawyers themselves about your case. If you have a major case and you want to have some input from our firm or any other firm, you can get that if you call and talk to them. But hiring the first lawyer that you saw on the TV ad is probably not the best way to do it. You might be okay. You might be fine. But it's probably not the best way to do it. So we encourage people to call and discuss your case, especially when you have a death claim or a catastrophic injury claim. You should be very, very careful in terms of evaluating the legal resources that are available to you through a lawyer. The solvency of the law firm is critical in dealing with a major case. They have to have the depth and the resources to prosecute your case to the conclusion, because sometimes these cases can take longer than a year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years. We had one medical malpractice case that over the life of the case was 10 years. 10 years. We were in several appellate courts with the case. It just seemed to last forever. We ultimately prevailed in it, but it can be very, very lengthy, a very, very lengthy process. So compare lawyers. The Florida Bar has an excellent brochure that listing that they have of clients' rights. It tells you what rights you have as a client when you talk to a lawyer. We encourage people to read that, know what that document says. it provides all kinds of questions you should ask a lawyer before you hire him. So in any event, we encourage people to be more careful in discussing their case with potential lawyers or law firms, and to be as thorough as you can and pick the lawyer carefully, because you're going to be with that lawyer for a long time, and you have to have a good level of trust with the lawyer that you hire. We're going to cover consumer issues here. We will also tell you about cases that we're investigating where we're looking for witnesses. We had a really bad accident that occurred on the Love truck stop on mile marker 70 outside of Defuniak Springs. I think it's Mossy Head. We'll talk about that later in the show. But let me talk about the constitutional amendments right now, because I think that will be something that the average viewer will want to know about if you haven't already done some research about it. Sometimes the Florida legislature, because they don't want the political fallout from taking a position on anything, they'll put stuff on the ballot. Some of these come on the ballot from citizens' initiatives. You know, you sign these forms that say you want a certain constitutional amendment on the ballot. They can go on that way, but they can also go on because the legislature wants to put it on the ballot. And why would the legislature do that? Because they don't want to take any heat about anything. They don't. They're elected officials. They want to keep their job. This is really the saddest part about where we are in our political life. Now the idea for people elected to office is to be reelected. That's their primary goal, is to be reelected. The secondary goal is to be reelected, but to move to a higher spot. The second somebody gets elected, invariably we see that they're thinking about running for the next office up, the next office up. And instead of saying, I want to serve. Pat Maney is an exception in Fort Walton Beach. We don't talk about politicians that much, but I mean, here's somebody who's just going to serve because of his interest in the community. And there are people like that. And I think there are definitely people like that. But more often than not, we have people that run for the legislature to be reelected or to run for a higher office. So they don't want to take any position on anything. They don't want to take a stand on anything. They don't want to do anything. It's just the state of the country. It's where we are today. You're watching The Law Show. This is Bob Kerrigan. I'll be back here after this short commercial break, and we'll be talking about cases that we're investigating. And we'll be talking about the need for a comprehensive evaluation of your case.